The presidential candidate who gets the highest marks for honesty and integrity in the 2016 field is now facing a potential scandal over his dealings as a young man with the U.S. military academy at West Point. The uproar comes as Ben Carson receives intense media scrutiny to accompany his recent surge in the polls. Fox News media analyst and host of Fox's Mediabuzz, Howard Kurtz, has tonight's top story.
Ben Carson, who has been denouncing the media for digging into his inspirational life story, has now acknowledged a mistake. Carson's campaign told Politico today that he was not accepted at West Point back in 1969. In fact, he didn't even apply, contradicting what he wrote in his autobiography, Gifted Hands. Carson's campaign says the late General William Westmoreland, the former U.S. commander in Vietnam, did urge the young ROTC student to consider West Point. But in the end, Carson did not seek admission.
Nice to see you.
Carson's campaign dismissed the entire Politico story as an outright lie. But in his book, he writes, quote, "I was offered a full scholarship to West Point. The military academy does not charge those who are accepted." Carson offered this explanation today to Bill O'Reilly.
You were never formally offered any kind of accommodation at West Point. Is that correct?
Right, I was just told that it would be very easy for me.
Okay, so that should have been a little clearer on page 57 of your book, correct?
I guess it could have been more clarified. I told it as I understood it.
The dispute erupted hours after Carson, pushing back against a CNN story on his teenage days, told Fox's Megyn Kelly that in his book he changed the identity as well as the name of a person he says he tried to stab. It was not a friend, he now says, but a family member.
This is simply an attempt to smear and to deflect the argument to something else. The person that I tried to stab, you know, I talked to today, said would they want to be revealed. They were not anxious to be revealed. And it was a close relative of mine.
CNN had interviewed some of Carson's old friends and neighbors who recalled him as a quiet young boy, which in no way proves the violent incidents didn't occur. And that triggered a contentious interview this morning.
As you know, CNN has been trying to find people who were involved in these incidents or witnessed these. They've tried to find Jerry.
And tell me what makes you think that you're going to find those specific people. This is a bunch of lies. This is what it is. It's a bunch of lies attempting, to say that I'm lying about my history.
Politico has now greatly softened its dramatic headline from Carson admits fabricating West Point scholarship to Carson claimed West Point scholarship but never applied. And other candidates reacting on the trail today. Brett, Donald Trump retweeting someone else's words and linking to the Politico piece. Is Carson hallucinating? Now lies about West Point. But Jeb Bush with Neil Cavuto defended Carson, saying, "I trust him. I believe it. I don't believe Politico." Brett.
All right, Howard, more later with the panel. Thank you.